Welcome to the Bayou Country Music Association show, brought to you in part by Southern Sound Outfitters. Today I'm joined by special guest Mr. Taylor of the band The Lawless. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it couldn't be better. How y'all doing?
Man, we're doing fine. We're happy to have another Texas up-and-coming musician. We love the Texas scene and love all the variety of music got going on down there. But I like to start off the program, man, and get a little background on the artist. Obviously, yourself, you're in a band, The Lawless. What area of Texas are you guys from?
Well, the band's based out of New Braunfels, Texas. And, of course, the band members are scattered from all over East Texas and some of them near New Braunfels. I think that kind of brings a little bit of spice and, seasoning to the band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They got a lot of talent, a lot of music and talent out of New Braunfels and around San Antonio and so you guys, you personally, you were born and raised around that area?
I'm originally from Winnie, Texas, closer to Beaumont, Port Arthur.
Oh, okay. So you're not far from Louisiana line.
Not too far, no, not at all. And tell you the truth, man, if there was a music scene, at all down in that area, that's probably where I'd be hanging out right now. But it's not really the case all the time, and you can't find a better place to network in a music career, than getting started around New Braunfels, Austin, San Marcos, Texas. It's just there's just so many artists over here every night. Even if you're not playing or you're not traveling, if you're staying at home, you can go down the road to any place to see anybody play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely have to say, man. I personally know a lot of people around the area, Sulphur and Lake Charles area, right around that border area, and they do have some talent, but there's no real places that offer them venues as much as it is in Texas with New Braunfels and your Lubbock's and Stephenville and Fort Worth and Austin and there's so much, like you said, for up and comers, the independents can go and get that fan base, and really it's a one of a kind type of thing, man. And I know a lot of artists that are from the Sulphur area and stuff that have ventured out to Texas for that reason.
Yeah, it's just the venue support's not really there, man. I go down and play sometimes around Beaumont, and I'll go. I know some bands that are from the area, and they're starting to kind of work their way up here too. Some really, really good bands. They got to get up here a little more to do it, because if they're staying at home and playing, well, that ain't the place to do it, right? You know what I mean?
We definitely.
It's a different thing.
I definitely support all country music, man, and I'm not biased in any way towards Texas. I do love the Texas scene. I do love my home state of Louisiana. I do love the East states and their talent, but it does seem that Texas does have its unique ability to serve artists in an independent way that, I think, and I'm going to go on record and say, most of your biggest Texas artists are all independent. And, I mean, that's just something that's not really heard of. It's pretty much been, got to go to Nashville and get a record deal. And a lot of these Texas musicians in Oklahoma, and even they come from all over, but they can do it because of the venues and the people and, just the atmosphere. And they really love their music over there.
They do, man. There's a very, very big, almost a desperate support for original music and
definitely
live music in general too.
Yep.
All over the state, that I don't know about everywhere in America, because I haven't been to every corner of the country, but I know that it's not really, especially as an up and coming band, there's not a whole lot of places and music scenes you can be in where you can just show up without putting an album out and start playing, hour and a half, all original shows, and basically tour that way until you have the money to put an album out, because you get supported so well as long as you got, pretty decent music and a fun show and aren't an asshole to everybody, you know?
Yep, and I definitely agree. I mean, the only place you can actually go and do that as far as go play and play original music and be seen is Nashville. But Nashville, you can't tour Nashville every day, and you kind of got to fight your way up there. Texas has its, you know, you can, like I said, you can tour Texas and gain momentum there, and so you guys are kind of a relatively new band in the sense of music. You've got some music you guys are working on right now?
Right, we're recording our first album is the Lawless. It's going to be called Lost Out There. Being owed to the title track, being the song that probably makes the whole record make sense, you know. So
the band's name is Lawless, and the record is Lost Out There. So I'm guessing it's some kind of a gospel song.
Not really a gospel song.
Oh man, I'm playing.
When I get pulled over and the cops like, you know, the band's getting pulled over, and he's like, "Y'all in a band?" We're like, "Yeah."
The Lawless.
State troopers like, "Yeah, what do you guys call?" We're like, Lawless.
We're called Yes Sir Officer.
Yeah, everybody out of the van.
Yeah.
No, man, it's a real kind of a deeper, you know, more oriented and personal reflection. I think a lot of it, you know, especially that particular song, just going through a lot of stuff in my life. And making a lot of changes, you know, going from working in the feed yards and just kind of one day waking up and realizing that it wasn't making sense, you know, and I started making some changes, and every single step I took led me closer and closer to actually just playing music all the time, you know, and working harder at it and knowing that it was the only thing that I hadn't entirely committed myself to. And, you know, I was married, and just the whole thing was a disaster, and all those things kind of come into a head at once. That
definitely helps with writing songs, going through stuff such as that. And so you got into music. What was some of your musical influences? You know, while you was out there, you know, tending to the cattle and saying, "I need to get out of this."
Just endless, brother. As far as I think there's probably something for every subject musically. Like, I got people I want to go to when I'm looking for lyrical content writers. You know what I mean? I guess that's anybody from like Bob Dylan or like Woody Guthrie. It goes all the way to now Jason Isbell. You know, and even Drive By Truckers is a lyrically contented band with rock and southern rock music. You know, like there's all different types of genres to go to. I'm a big Chris Knight fan, Robert Earl Keen. You know, if you don't like ragweed, I don't know what to tell you. That's it. They cover every corner of the industry, to me, of independent, you know, southern rock and red dirt and country and Americana music.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's so many places to come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So would you say, I mean, your parents, were they musical or had influences in your music as far as, you know, listening, you know, would your mom listen to a certain genre and your dad more of a honky tonk or rock and roll, or?
Absolutely, man. I think my dad was stuck somewhere between like 1956 and 1980. He was just kind of in that southern rock and old country music, you know, and
so he was more into the outlaw types.
He's more of an outlaw, yeah. And
the Johnny Cashes and such.
Oh, he's big Johnny Cash in the house, you know. Lots of Waylon Jennings, and we had Merle Haggard, man. My brother and me, from little kids, we had like, you know, reel-to-reels in our bedrooms and like 8-track players and vinyl, and like we were set up for music. You know what I mean? We're probably the only 12-year-olds that I know that had like a badass, you know, set of amps and tape decks and big ass speakers that could blow the windows out. You know, music was a big important thing, and my mother, of course, like, she introduced me to Charlie Robinson and, you know, Jerry Jeff Walker, but she also introduced me to Metallica. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's
so it's just endless stuff, man. Endless endless music supply, you know.
Man, it seems the more and more up and coming talent that I talk with out of the Texas area, it seems I see more and more of the variety of country that everybody assumes Texas is the, you know, it's a George Strait, just, you know, clean cut Wranglers, but you got your guys such as yourself with a southern rock type vibe, and then you got your little lessers with your Cole Wetzels that's very, you know, he's doing big things, and you got your Chris Colston's coming up, and then you got your traditionalists, you know, your Cody Johnsons and Randall Kings and you know, Josh Wards, and it's just a variety all of its own in the state. And it's and also Shay Abshire, I forgot to mention, another trailblazer in the Texas country scene, man. It's cool to see, it really is.
Well, you know, kind of when you're saying that right there, it kind of makes me. I was thinking about this earlier today, man. We were talking with Chase. Chase drummer is gonna come meet up with us Saturday after we play in Austin, or before the show. I don't know, however it works out, but we'll be over there with those guys. It made me laugh when you were talking, because, you know, you got your traditionalists, you're talking about people like Paul Coffin. You ever listen to Paul?
Yeah.
Show up, and it's like Ray Wiley Hubbard and Johnny Cash combined.
Yeah.
At the same damn venue, the same night, the other artist playing will be Shay.
Shay,
it'll be like
yeah,
a combination of like the Shins or something with, I don't even know, Willie Nelson and Augustana together, like indie rock and country.
And you can see it all in one venue. And then it seems that every artist, even the Shay Abshires and the traditionalists, they support everybody. They support each other, man.
Big family, bro. Big family.
That's what's awesome about the country music scene down in the western area, man. And that's what, you know, I talked with several people about it, and it's like you have those varieties of how they have their styles, and it makes them unique, but they also respect and have, you know, they root for the other people. So
you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it.
That's what it's all about, man. And I guess I kind of started this thing to get that family type thing that you guys have in Texas, and bring that out and kind of help you guys such as yourself more, and also kind of, you know, spark a bridge between you guys and the eastern states, you know, because we're kind of in the middle, and we got, you know, the ones either travel to Texas or they travel to Georgia, and, you know, or they travel north, and a lot of people don't really stay down home, man, and it's because of the venues, and we have great musicians from here in Louisiana, but it's not really a platform or a bridge to join that, and that's what I aim to do, man, and to get artists such as yourself any kind of recognition. That's what I'm all about, man.
Yeah, you got a good thing going for sure, man. I mean, you've had some pretty awesome artists roll through here. I mean, I've kind of been checking out some of these podcasts, and, you know, I know you've had anybody from somebody, you know, putting out their first.
I've been very blessed, man.
Probably people promoting their first week's worth of shows to the same thing as, you know, Randall King rolling through here and talking to you. You know, that must have been.
Honestly, Randall was an awesome interview, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And I've been very blessed, and I try to keep it. You know, I like getting to do interviews with guys such as yourself coming up, and then also like doing like I did the interview last week with Kyle Park, and, you know, legend, and getting to hear. Getting maybe, you know, people such as yourself or the ones in the younger generation can hear some words of wisdom from them, you know, and just that's what I love, you know, having both sides of it, and so getting the newcomers and getting the big timers, man, and not just the Texas scene, you know, it's all over. I've had a few Nashville songwriters and that are not big time, you know, but they're pretty big time songwriters on, and you know, good buddies of mine, CJ Solar from Louisiana, that he's a good songwriter, wrote some Mike Ryan song, Damn Goodbye, and he wrote that song by that Morgan Wallen and them have took off with Up Down. His was a little different version, but, you know, you got guys such as them that I was able to interview, you know, and pick their brains and then bands such as Vidalia with David St. Romain, who was actually on Nashville Star back in like 2005 or something, and you know, he's sitting here and telling the up-and-comers what to do, and then even had the chance to interview a 13-year-old girl from Louisiana, Lane Lanero, that was blowing me away when I heard her song. So just the variety of it is awesome. I've been very blessed to get these people to reach out.
Yeah, man, that's the dream is it's a good one, man. The goal, the outcome, I like it all. It's definitely a good ride. It's diverse enough. You get a little bit of everything. What makes that cool is that all those people looking for those, you know, out of Texas artists, those Nashville artists and everything else, you know, if they're checking out this podcast or this, you know, wherever you release this to, you know, they're gonna find a lot of these artists that they wouldn't have otherwise seen.
That's what makes it all worth it, man. I mentioned David, and they're, you know, they have Vidalia and of several other up and people that are they've been in the music scene. And they have told me, you know, you're doing a great job, and I've been looking up some of the artists you got on your Spotify, and I've been digging these guys, and hearing that, it's like makes it all worthwhile, you know, because it's like that's the platform that's not here, that nobody takes advantage of, and sometimes I get in touch with people, and I'm like, hey, you know, I want to do an interview, and they're like, well, what do you want out of it? And it's like, well, I just want to get people out there, I just want to talk, and I've mostly have to say 90% of the artists have been gracious enough, and I've had a few of them kind of strangely like, oh, I got to talk with management, because there's really nobody out there that wants to sit and talk and have an hour interview of intimate about, you know, artists and about music and about their songs, and you know.
Yeah, it's more and more slim all the time, man, and that's a shame, because I feel like there was a time when when commercial music wasn't so watered down that, you know, the big bulk, the mass of everybody in the country was getting to hear those hour-long interviews with artists that, you know, that were being supported because they had good music and not because they sold a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep. And with social media, man, and the attention span of people these days, you know, people want to skip, and I took a shot in the dark, man, and I run these podcasts as long as I want to, and I've had people, you know, a lot of artists really, and that's really what I wanted to connect with. When they go on long journeys, long rides, they sit and they listen, and that's what, you know, got me. I would love for people at home to sit and listen to an hour conversation about somebody they don't know and listen to their music, but if they don't want to, that's them. But to get artists to have a platform to hear, you know, and grow, and that's what it's all about for me, man.
There it is, brother. So Lost out there, you're gonna be looking forward to basically a lot of outlaw stuff going on. There's a little bit of, you know, rocket song about just going back home, missing your friends, got to go home and really throw down one good time, you know. Then there's, you know, Rose City Moonshine's probably, you know, we're looking into maybe, it'll probably be one of the singles, probably the first or second single that we push, about, you know, some people in Southeast Texas doing some lawless stuff, you know, cooking up some moonshine and killing their cousins, and you got all kind of stuff on the record, man.
So would y'all say y'all sound is kind of like a Whiskey Mire, or like that raspy kind of Southern rock, man, Texas sound?
It's maybe something like that. I would say this particular record, to me personally, if I'm unrelated to actually writing it, is that, you know, at first listen, to me, it's kind of paints the picture of, now bear with me, this sounds kind of weird, alright? I'm thinking it's like it's a Southern rock sound for sure, but it's got a real darker tone to it.
Kind of like Cody Jinks type?
Well, maybe emotionally, you know, but the sound would be a little different, but the
lyrics,
imagery would be the same, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
The stories.
I would say it's going to paint the picture of a graveyard at the bottom of a swamp somewhere.
That's lit. Hey, I mean, you got.
That's what you're listening to.
But they got, man. That's what makes great songs, is telling stories that mean something. If that's bad, if it's good, anybody can write a tune that's about a happy day that they went riding down a back road. But I'm a big fan of listening to songs like that, and a guy that's not on the Texas end, but I know he's been around, is Jacob Bryant, man, and Jacob, his songs and what he sings about everything he's been through, and Brandon Gilbert and those guys, and they have that Southern rock and that emotion behind it. And it's like, yeah, nobody really wants to hear, about pour whiskey on my grave, or I turned 25 in jail, or putting a twist on it. But it's like real stories, and it makes a good song.
Yeah, we got one of those. I got Highway 123 coming out on the new record. It's just about going to jail for doing stupid stuff on the road in a truck.
And that's exactly what makes good songs, is that you can relate to it. And
one really bad night, horrible experience, and badass rocking song. But it's not all like that, man. There's some really cool stuff. There's some really fun stuff on there too. A lot of cool, it's a lot of fun, but there's also some real meaning to it.
You got some variety.
Yeah, so it's something like you can play it, you can jam it, you can shotgun a beer to it, but you can get something out of it at the same time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff to be said.
How many songs y'all have on the album?
We cut 8 so far, and we're kind of on the fence about if we're gonna go the EP route, or if we're gonna actually go in and do a couple more and do the full-length 10-song record, because some of the Lost out there, the title track's 8 minutes long. As far as minutes go, I'm over a full record.
Damn.
As far as time goes,
taking a page from Skinner, huh?
Man, it's exactly that. It's funny you said that, because the producer, when I was recording that song, he said, "Who are your musical influences, man? Who's your lyrical influences?" And I was like, I really don't have any one lyrical influence, and if I told you all on a list, it wouldn't make sense, because none of them are from even the same type of music. And he goes, "Did you listen to early Skinner?" And I said, "Well, hell yeah, I don't know anybody that didn't listen to early Skinner."
As my friend Dale Brisley would say, "Well, Dale, yeah."
Well, Dale, yeah. He's a funny cat, dude. But he said, "You got a lot of Ronnie Van Zant going on right now. You got a lot of that early Skinner, Ronnie Van Zant going on." And I think I might have peed a little bit when he said that, because
that's a compliment, man. That's a hell of a compliment, man.
Yeah, man, it is. It really is.
My buddy CJ, I was telling y'all about, he got to go on, I think, 2 or 3 shows this past year that he opened up for Skinner, and he was like, man, over the roof about it. I was like, well, hell yeah, I'd be the same, man. I mean, if you don't know Leonard Skinner, then I don't know. I mean, there are people that don't even know. You might not know a dang song that they have, but you know Leonard Skinner, the name.
Yeah, everybody knows something about Skinner. That's funny, man. And you know what? I bet he had a good time too, because I've seen him a few times live, starting when I was 12. So they were definitely up there in age. And they were still, even then, when I first saw him live, compared to the last time I saw him live, it was the same show. I mean, and I don't mean the same set list and
same energy.
I mean, it was the same quality of badass. That's what I mean by that.
Same presence. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not losing nothing with age. It's kind of like.
It reminds me of AC/DC. You watch what's his name? The guitar player. Angus sit up there, and that dude looks like he needs to be in a nursing home, but he'll sit there and play that guitar 2 hours, man, and can just rip it. And
it's wild. And nothing can really knock them down unless they're dead.
Yeah, you're right.
It's one of those. It's just the life and legacy of a true, honest legend. You can't kill legends unless they're actually dead. And guess what? Then they're AC/DC, so they're still going forever.
Yeah.
But same thing with Skinner, man. But yeah, dude. So I mean, that kind of gives you a taste for
Well, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to hear it.
You asked me about sound, and I say I don't really have an answer except for painting some weird picture.
It's not a weird picture. It paints it paints a variety, man. And I dig it because I like that type of. It shows, especially if this is y'all debut, EP or record, you want to call it. It shows the variety that you guys can put out. So that's awesome.
Man, it's great, and like as of right now, I couldn't be more happy especially for the fact that we haven't put anything out, and all we've done is play full time, just travel and play.
And have y'all got y'all got a lot of y'all play on a lot of these songs like on the road?
Oh yeah, I played this entire record at every show.
So you pretty much have a fan base that has heard it and is waiting for it to be put out there.
Waiting for it to be there, and everybody else that ain't heard it yet, well, they got.
That's awesome.
Really cool,
that's a great.
Some cool stuff coming.
That's a great place to be, man. It
is. It feels good. It feels really good that we've already got started and got going. And then there's also the fact that because of what we've done, we've got to hang out and play shows and make good friendly relationships. Some of these bands that we've been playing with, when we're not playing, we're hanging out and watching other bands together. You know what I mean? Like,
you can go ahead and name drop. What's some of the bands that you've been opening for? Some of the artists.
Oh my God! Well, all right. So I mean, we've done a few shows with Jason Boland. That's been a lot of fun because he's been probably the most gracious and supportive. Man, he called me up on stage at our last show together, and I didn't see that coming. And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, get up here, boy.
Yeah, you.
We did. It was right. We opened for him, and then I was watching his show. And he brought me up there, and we did Boys from Oklahoma, man. And it was fun.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. It's Jason Boland, dude.
Yeah.
But and his band's real cool. Nick Worley has a wiffle ball tournament all summer long, and invited us to compete against the Jason Boland band, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get my ass kicked by Jason Boland at wiffle ball.
I mean, that'd be a hell of a story to tell on a podcast now, but
I think we should probably. I think here's what I'll do. I think I'm going to take a summer.
Next summer.
Lessons.
Yeah.
So that next summer I can really actually do something. Man, I love going out with Caden Bryce. He's a really incredible musician. He's a great guy, great friend. We compete. When we play together live, we do a lot of tour dates together because we're kind of doing the same thing. He's just kind of finishing up his record.
Yeah, and
he's been playing his original shows live all over the place.
All you guys have kind of in a circle, man. I did an interview with Brent Query, and
he's a hell of a guy.
He's like, man, I played with I've been hearing about Kanan forever, and I reached out to him twice today, and he's ready to do interviews. We're gonna probably do one sometime later this week. But every one of you guys have been, helping each other out and kind of play together and do a kind of. I don't know which one it was, but they kind of mentioned it was kind of like a competitive. A friendly competitive thing, Man,
it is. It actually goes deeper than what you can. It is really friendly competitive because we all play together all the time, and even if we don't know it's coming, like we've had a few surprises, and then. But one of the coolest things is that Kanan. I've said before that our set is pretty much entirely original. I'll throw a couple covers in there every now and again, and I'll pick covers. I'll do like 2 or 3 covers in a set that I really, really love. Songs that I really care about, and usually it's going to be a lot of the time people don't know what they are because, you know what I mean? It just depends on what I'm using. But Caden Bryce picked a song to cover that we were doing one night, and he knew that we were going to do it. So he went on right before us, and he played that song, and he challenged us on stage into the microphone, challenged us. He was like, when you come up, you play your version of this song, and we're going to see what the fans like. And I was like, ooh.
I will be sure to mention this in the interview with him.
Do exactly that. And so I went up there and I said, challenge accepted. And we played our song. And then the next song I did on the set list, I had him come up on stage and sing it with me. You know what I mean? Like, we have a good time live because of the fact that we're all family, man.
Yeah, you're all a family. You're doing what you love, and when you're doing what you love, it's not a job, man.
It that's the thing, man. That's the honest to goodness truth. Is some of these nights that we have out there playing, and it don't matter where we are. That's the coolest part about it. Is it can be anywhere in this state, and you run into your friends. You're at home, where you are. You might, if you're out there playing a headlining show by yourself, and you're just now meeting the band that's opening, or you're opening for a bigger band, and you're just meeting them, and you might not hit it off right that minute, but when you're out there, and you might feel kind of alone. You might just be bored. You know what I mean? You might just be kind of hanging out, waiting for the show, and then you go to bed after, and that's fun too. But it's really fun when you're playing with somebody anywhere, because then you're at home with your family.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong like that, and that's everyone in this business. Everybody you play with they're all your best friends. It's just it's a tight knit group of people.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I mean, I have to say, I've interviewed plenty of people from the eastern side of Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and Carolinas, and those guys all have the same type of thing that, they all kind of tie in together, Gary and Charlie of Muscadine Bloodline, Jordan Fletcher, and Ray Fulcher, and of course, I don't know if you heard of Luke Combs. That was a sarcastic, because Luke is one of my favorites, man.
They're all out there doing great things, dude.
But they all hang out together, and Drew Parker, they all do the same type. So it's cool to see that they have the same type of atmosphere, and that's why I want to bridge that and say, hey, man, let's get the Texas guys, the Oklahoma guys, and then all the Eastern guys in Louisiana. Let's make the whole damn country and just have it,
William Clark Green already gave you the advice, all right? He gave you the advice to what you're trying to do. I don't know if you knew this or not, but it's in one of his songs. And the line is, them good old boys are few and far between, but they're spread out way out from Houston to Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
They're strung out, man. You just got to build a bridge between all them little hot spots on the way there.
And you, sir, have a future in broadcasting, because you just dropped the name of old William Clark Green, and he's got a new song out, "Hit You Where It Hurts," and we're actually going to be doing an interview with him for that, promoting that song here, and probably next week we'll be putting it out. But
that'll be great, man. He's a hell of a speaker, dude.
I can't wait.
Intuitive guy. He's a very, very intuitive guy.
Yeah, I love the new single. I love a lot of his music, but I love the new single, man. "Hit You Where It Hurts." I love the artwork for it.
He's got, he's never ceased to surprise me what he does, man. Especially after kind of hearing him talk on a few subjects about his struggle getting to the point where he could, make an actual stand and actually, build in the big time like he's doing. It seemingly he's been huge since the day he started playing. But just because everybody was hearing his music doesn't mean he was necessarily, out there kicking ass. He had to struggle for a while, and he had to really,
he's
really make some sacrifices and dedicate himself to it.
He is one of the ones that I call the veterans of the Texas scene, man.
Oh, man, he's living proof that
Aaron Watson.
If you work your ass off, Aaron Watson, just same story. If you work hard and you dedicate yourself to what you're doing and commit to the struggle and don't give up, you can be an Aaron Watson. You can be a William Clark Green.
And what's sad, though, and what pisses me off, madder than hell, is I have so much respect for Aaron Watson and William Clark Green and those guys. I can name a few more, but they don't get the respect of the country music scene as a whole, as of like a George Strait or even Alan Jackson. I mean, Aaron Watson and William, they've been doing it for decades, and as independent artists, and they don't get it because they're not on a label, and that's what's sad. And I think there's a big push going on right now, and thankfully for your home state and your area and social media, that Red Dirt music and independent music is soon, within the next, I say, decade, it'll take over, because the big dogs in Nashville and radio don't control anything anymore with all social media and with all Spotify, and you don't even
changed the world, man.
You don't. I mean, like you mentioned in Texas, you can go and tour the whole state your entire career and have fan bases and not ever be known in California, but be a legend down there. And that is changed with social media. And so that is, I have a feeling by the time I'm around the age of old Angus playing the guitar, that the big wigs in the record companies ain't gonna be managing who's who. It's gonna be actual talent, and I mean, we live in a world where people get rich off of the YouTube videos. It's.
Oh yeah, and you're right. And the independent artistry game is changing also. There's becoming a lot more independent artists out there, even though it's a lot, somewhat of a bumpier and kind of harder to. It's a hard road to hoe, man. I'll tell you that. But it's definitely, if you're really just dedicated to your music, you can't really go. Not necessarily. I shouldn't say that you can't just go off to Nashville and do it, because you can. That's not. I shouldn't say that, because that's not true. But if you make the wrong decision or you sign the wrong paper, you end up in commercial avenue, and then you're just doing all the wrong things. It's easy to do that. So staying independent and really controlling.
You want to know? I'll make 2 comments on it, man. One of my favorite artists in Nashville is Eric Church, because Eric Church, he's a trooper. Eric Church is not only probably one of the best singer-songwriters they have out there now, but he's also true to his fans, and he don't care what the labels are going to tell him. And the second thing I'm going to say about the independents and the move that's happening is just the fact that we can see on Entertainment Tonight them interview Cody Johnson and show that he has sold out more tickets in the Houston arena than Luke Bryan and Blake Shelton as an independent artist. That right there, and him saying, if it ends tomorrow, it was a wild ride, and that should flabbergast the people of Nashville, that the big dogs, because he's doing it. I mean, and he's not the only one,
Well, what the greatest thing about it is, when you're talking about that there's some hope now because social media is changing things. There's a lot of things changing the game. But one of the biggest things out there that you got to remember right now, this is what gives me hope, is that we've still got Whiskey Myers touring the world right now.
Yep.
And they're from Palestine, Texas, which is literally just this little place in the pine trees, and then we've got Cody Johnson doing exactly what you just said.
From a small town that was...
Cody Johnson come from Huntsville, which is just another place in the Pines. He was a prison guard.
Then you got Randall King, the new kid from Hereford, Texas. Hereford like the cows. Hereford, Texas, a 4th-generation hay hauler, and has been recognized by Garth Brooks and Rolling Stone.
That was literally the next thing on my list. When Garth Brooks,
he don't endorse people.
Alright, Garth Brooks is the man that literally has sold out the biggest concert on the face of this earth at Madison Square Garden.
Garth Brooks is the Michael Jackson. He's the Michael Jackson of country music to me.
Absolutely.
He's one of the best entertainers to sell out arenas with the microphone and when Garth Brooks says, let me just stop this to say that, and I mean,
yeah, that blew me away.
I'll be honest, it didn't really blow me away, because I believed every word he said, because what blew me away is when I first heard the entire album, and I was like, am I in a time machine? I felt like I was listening to some 90s country with a traditional twist, and
it was,
I loved it. And then actually getting to interview him and talk with him, man, he's very intelligent, and he was a 4th-generation hay hauler, and he decided to go to school and to produce music, and he produces all of his music and has a hand in all of it, and he's bringing all these guys that come from nothing, and that anybody out there listening, you can, if you believe in something and you work hard at it, you can do it, man. Those guys are living proof.
That's exactly right, man. I agree with you on that one. I wasn't blown away that Garth Brooks acknowledged the fact that was a badass album. He deserved that 100% because that was true, and you're right. What amazes me is that I wanted to be Garth Brooks when I was, literally walking.
Who didn't? Who didn't want to? I mean, Garth.
And I'm sure he was the same. And now this man, one of the biggest, probably the biggest selling live show selling country artist in history.
Yeah.
And you can probably fact check that and find out that he sold more tickets to any one show than any human being on earth.
Retired and came back. Retired and came back.
Kicking ass again.
Pulled a Brett Favre, and then he's gonna stop and say, "This kid, this is what country music's about."
This kid from this small ass town in Northwest Texas.
This is what country.
Hereford is nothing but dirt and feed yard.
And I read.
Ain't much up there. You gotta be trying to be a musician from Hereford,
I read the article, man, that Rolling Stone wrote and all, and they put he was from Amarillo. And when I talked to him, I said, like I asked you, where you from, man? He said, I'm from a little town, brother, of Hereford. And I mean, I've been around cattle my whole life. And I dumb stupidly was like, Hereford, like the cows? And he was like, yeah, Hereford, it was named after the cows. And I'm like, nobody in Rolling Stone or any of them put Hereford. They put Amarillo, but I'd be damn proud. He's from Hereford, fourth generation hay hauler that is keeping it going, man. And not only him, man. You got some amazing artists, all across y'all state, all across the country, really. We mentioned Muscadine, Bloodline, those guys, and I mean,
everybody out here has something really, really unique and special about them. Everybody's got their own style, man. But there's not a bad artist out here. You know what I mean? Like, you can go to a bar and see. You can go to a bar, not even a music venue, just a bar, and see a 45-year-old guy that works at wherever the hell he works, Academy. I don't know what he does for a living, but you can find a guy that writes songs that doesn't even travel and play music, and you can still see good artists. So like, the guys that are really out here doing it and making a living,
they love music
and hustling, man. Like,
they don't do it. They don't do it for the fame. They do it because they love it.
That's true, man. And then there are people that are definitely going to take off and be a big name. There's a bunch of those too, and obviously Randall King is a perfect example of that. Cody Johnson, guy that worked at a prison in Huntsville, and
Mike Ryan,
he's killing it. But I look at the success of people like Cody Johnson, and I remember, I used to have my Pandora going when I was like,
Cody Johnson's been around for a long time, since 2009, I want to say, or something. And
he used to go be on horseback and be listening to, he'd be on Pandora, or he'd be on Texas music playlist, but he wasn't. He was small back then, what I mean? Like, he was badass, but
look at how much more social media.
Oh my God, it's gone insane. He's literally done such incredible things, man, and he deserves it too, though, because
he does. I'm a big fan.
Vocalist, everything about that guy is incredible.
I'm a big fan of Cody, big fan of Josh Ward, big fan of Randall, big fan of all those guys. I mean, a big fan of all of them. That really all the Texas artists that are, I call them the heavy hitters, the ones that are up there now, and all independent. And been fighting and scratching and clawing and do it, Even some of them been bull riders, some of them been working in prison, some of them been hay haulers, some of them, and look what they doing, And that's, to me, that's what I love. And we have the same people like that down here, man, in Louisiana and other states, southern states. It's just it doesn't have as big as a community, and hopefully this future push of social media and good grouping of people will, I said the other day, could you imagine the amount of talent that they had back in the day, say of Hank Sr., that never got noticed ever because they were from a small town of Hereford or somewhere like that and never got seen, and yet you got people like, Justin Bieber that got seen on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
could you imagine the amount of music that has never been heard? And so I think we're in a generation now where the cream of the crop rises. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, man. It's been looking great because it all, to me, the way I see it is that around the time that I started kind of cutting into this and really giving it a try, that's when all of a sudden, you know, it became less of an industry deal with the bands that were making it were there, because I think for a while there it seemed kind of stagnant. Like the up and coming bands are few and far between. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of them for a few years there, and then it seemed like right around the time that I started kind of dedicating myself to music, boom,
It's
there's
Friday.
thousands of these guys. All of a sudden, everyone just comes out, and it became literally, this has been like the most incredible experience of my lifetime. You know, just seeing all these artists come out of nowhere, and just, I guess everyone was just sick of not you know, having a big community of people that nobody was in anymore. You know. And the older artists that were the ones that usually, you know, there's emerging artists right behind the bigger artists, and they're all going one solid wave. But it seemed like for a while, you know, Randy Rogers and Josh Abbott were huge.
And there was nothing, yeah.
Whenever we were in high school and they were still, or in junior high, and they were still coming up and they were still kind of underground, there wasn't any artists, you know, there wasn't a bunch of artists.
It's flooded.
But now, there's so many artists, but we've got to make a really big leap to get to the in-between. You know what I mean? Like, the in-between artists aren't really there. That's just making this such a big and vast and so many artists, is because we're not all traveling up together like an escalator. We're like having to jump up, you know, 10 stories with a pogo stick.
It's like, you know, wake up ready to swing, because, you know, you got just so much talent that is, I don't know if it was something in the water that's come about or what, man, but you know, it's crazy. And it's not, and it's all over, man. It's not even just in Texas. I know Texas, I guess it's because you got such a big dang state, but man, look at the talent that's come out of the Carolinas lately, and Alabama with Muscadine Bloodline and Joe Fortner, Georgia, all these guys that back, you know. Who heard of? There was hardly nobody that came. You had a few people come here and there, you know. But I mean, now it's like each one of these southern states is getting these little groups, and of course Texas is a big state, so they got more in the group. But I'm loving it, man, and I love being able to talk and chat and see the evolution, and to get in the mindset of people such as yourself that's in it, and you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
But I definitely look forward to listening to y'all upcoming record. And do you have a title that you gonna go with? You gonna go with that the track you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, the record's gonna be called "Lost Out There." Just playing into the title track, and then you know, we're looking at like mid-August, maybe late August to release, somewhere in that little time frame.
Okay.
And we're not far away.
We'll definitely be looking for it, man.
Talking with a lot of, definitely be looking for it. Be paying attention. We've got all kind of stuff going on right now with our you know, kind of getting into promotion and getting things ready, and fixing to launch the hell out of it, you know, and really send it to the moon. We're talking about doing distribution with Universal, which is it's a pretty large platform. So I think it'll be real helpful to do it that way and get everything just out there as much as we can, you know.
Do you guys have a website, or you just strictly y'all use a lot of y'all social media pages?
No, we got a website. It would be
You don't. Hey, no, you don't have to look it up, man. I'll add it all to the when we finish the interview. I add links to all the website, and I just have to ask so I can do my research.
Hey, look, so we got everything's going on. We got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
I'll make sure and add.
We got a website. I think it's lawlessmusic.com. It's real easy to find. You know, check it out. Look, you know, get it where. Yeah, for sure.
I'll definitely add all them links and so people can check it out. And you know, obviously we'll have this published as soon as I finish up here. And you know, I look forward to it, man. I had a great time talking with you, and it seems like your whole little buddy group has been getting with me the last few days, and I get to hear stories back and forth, and it's awesome.
Man, everybody in this business is friends with everybody in this business. I'll learn there's gonna be some cool stuff coming up, but man, yeah, it was a good time for sure, man. And most interviews aren't so laid back, man. They got
like I said, I throw a script away, and I don't have a schedule. You know, some of them run 15 minutes, some of them run 2 hours. It's just what it is. I talk when, you know, I just like to get it out there. And
absolutely. Hell yeah.
I definitely had a great time talking with you, brother, and look forward to listening to the new music coming for around August. I know I'll be headed around the Texas area. Me and Aaron of Southern Sound Outfitters. I want to say it's going to be August, the 10th of August. They have something going on with. I want to say it's, girl, man. It might be. It's some of the up and comers he had mentioned earlier. I don't know if you guys are going to be a part of it. It's some kind of like a little shindig thing. I want to say it's in.
You're talking about August?
August 10th.
Man, I don't know, dude. My schedule's so crazy. I never know.
I know he mentioned something about. I know Brent gonna be there, and I'll post all the stuff to it, but I will be headed down there sometime in August, and then, man, I look forward to it, and I'll probably try and make a few more trips before then.
Yeah, dude. I'll give you a little teaser. That what I do know. I say what I know. It ain't what I know. It's what I'm thinking is gonna. What it looks like we're gonna do is have an album release party at River Road High's house in New Braunfels, which is a historic, you know, New Braunfels music venue. Very, very. It's the place where.
It's gonna be a hell of a place to throw one. I mean.
Yeah, there's just been so many. I remember just all throughout my lifetime coming up to New Braunfels in vacation time when I was a little kid, or even when we lived in Winnie, or now, you know, when I was middle school or high school, living over here, going to River Road and watching all the greatest bands. I mean, I've seen, you name it, I've seen them there. You know, there's not been a band that's been around that I haven't seen at River Road at some point in my life. You know what I mean? And so, I think we're going to do our album release there, and it'll be mid to late August, and I will get back with some solid dates whenever we nail them down a little bit tighter.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we'll be sure, and I like keeping our social medias and all our website updated, and I follow all you guys, and I retweet and, you know, post, and I like to get all the events, and I love Texas because they're so easy, because you guys stick all together and just all pile up at one venue, so I can just tag names and then put a date, you know.
Right, you can see 3 or 4 of the best acts all in one night, really.
You can see, man. Next year I'll be at LJT. And I'm gonna be there. And what did they have a few weeks back that it was like every name I read, I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Like, you would never see something like this. Like something's like
Lone Star Jam, Lone Star Fest, or whatever. Fest.
Well, no, that's it. I thought, yeah, it might have been Lone Star Fest. Yeah.
Well, LJT was
a few months back, but
Lone Star was literally like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that was badass.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Lone Star was insanity, man. That lineup was stupid incredible.
Yep. And
that was the kind of stuff that that was the kind of night.
Once in a lifetime,
every single night on Lone Star was the kind of night that you read about in books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It was that badass all the time. You gotta have that, man.
Well, I'm pissed because I missed it, but
wait, that wasn't 2 nights. It might have been 1 night.
I definitely did remember seeing the post on it and just reading the names, and it was like, are they just listing every artist in Texas, or is this a real thing? And it's crazy, man. It really is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was incredible lineups, man. And we were playing all over the place and didn't get to make it and even be there, man. Of course, we weren't going to make the bill with no record out, but we wanted to go hang out, and then we ended up booking shows. We were like, got to get out there and grind, man. Can't go hang out, you know. But I watched it happen. I watched all of our friends that were there, and it was definitely historic, man. I hate that we missed it.
Well, you're not alone, man. But I will be making my way around Texas and soon, within the next month or so, brother. And I know who to call. All you guys stay in a tight circle.
Oh, you know it, brother. Hey, man, you pick up the phone. Somebody will definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll hit y'all up.
Get rowdy.
I'll hit y'all up because I mean y'all all been hitting me up today, so I got them all saved.
We definitely like to get together and throw down a little bit when we can. When we got a little free time, you know what I mean? So.
Well, man,
we all have a good time at each other's shows, man. There's too much cool stuff going on to not have fun with it.
That's awesome, man. And I mean, like I said, I enjoyed this interview. I had a great time talking with you. Can't wait to hear the music, and we'll be following and tell the rest of the guys in the band. I said, you know, next time they need to all come along. I thank you, brother, and I take this time to thank our sponsors, man, and our partners, and the guys and organizations that kind of help us. And one, first and foremost, is Southern Sound Outfitters, organization that I've really gotten close with, and Aaron, the guy that heads it up, he's all about supporting the Texas scene of up and coming artists, and actually sends a lot of artists my way, and I trust him with my heart when he tells me it's a good artist coming. But they also have some great apparel on their website at southernsoundoutfitters.com, and I'm excited. I'm on the inside loop. We got some pretty awesome stuff coming, some pretty awesome new hat styles, and I think you guys are gonna love. So be sure to check that out in the coming months. And so yeah, we give a shout out to them. And also going off of apparel, man, our second guy is Louisiana guy, Corey Adams, and you guys might know him from Swamp Assassin. He created the brand years ago. He's been taking off. He's been helping us out, and he supports us, the whole Swamp Assassin family, really. And check out, they got a bunch of, I mean, every day Corey's pumping out new stuff. They got some fishing stuff out now, some new colors available. They got some new stuff the Texas scene would love. He calls them the Tall Boys. The 5-panel tall boy truckers with patch hats, and
buddy.
Yes, sir. And they got 20% off all hats if you enter the code StoryCrew20 on the website, and 20% off the hat promo. And that's again StoryCrew20. And they also have, that's the infamous hat that is in the Opry, that the Swamp Assassin Mallard hat that Luke Combs wore in the Hurricane video. So that's pretty cool. And they got some pretty sweet colors, man, and designs on some hats and shirts. And they call them the Ranch Series. But yeah, go enter in that 20% discount and go check them out, man. And Corey got some great stuff. As far as websites, we got websites that help us out. Texas Music Pickers. They do great things with the Texas music scene. They keep up with all the, up and comers and everything in the scene, and also Southern music scene. Also another great website. They keep up with everything in Red Dirt and everything in Texas. So they help us out and we help them, and we appreciate their help, man. And last but not least, I have to say, I call it the trifecta. Cowboys out of Scott, Louisiana. They have Cowboys Arena. They feature some rodeos and events like that. They don't have, as of right now, they don't have anything lined up for this weekend, but they also have Cowboys Western Store that has a bunch of sales going on boots and jeans. All the top-notch, you got your cinch, your Wranglers, your rock and roll denims, the whole nine. They got some saddles, and they got, all your tack wear. And, of course, Cowboys Nightclub, great venue for local bands coming. And this weekend they actually have After Hours band playing Thursday and for Ladies' Night. And see, they got Jeremy and the Zydeco Hot Boys. It's going to be a little Zydeco night on Friday, and then Saturday Bernie Allen. And they got some big names coming in July. Sam Riggs is actually going there in July. And then August, I want to say the 17th, Mr. Randall King himself is going to be there. And then the 25th and following weekend, Mr. Jacob Bryan's going to be there. So we love those guys. It's a great venue out of Scott, Louisiana. Look them up, and we thank them. That's our sponsors. That's our guys, our backbone. And we also thank you guys, the listeners. Go give us a follow on Spotify. Check out our Spotify chart. Check out all our social medias. Follow us, and get us to grow, because that's the only way we can get out. Get these artists out there. And we also, I say it every time, support your local independent artists. Buy their music. Go to their shows. Buy their merchandise. These guys, they're doing what they love, but it takes money to do it. So support them with that. And that's my closing argument every time, man. But Taylor, I had a blast, man. And if you got any last shout outs or anything you want to say, I'll give you the floor.
Man, I don't even know where to start with my shout outs. I want everybody to be successful. I can't name drop one and not do 110. But I will say, for damn sure, everybody be looking out for the Lawless new record, Lost Out There, that we recorded at Yellow Dog Studios right there with Dave Percival producing it. It's been an incredible experience. And then anybody, you know who you are, that's helped us out along the way, man. And there will be a lot more talk about all that cool stuff the more we get into these conversations, But for now, I think that's about all I can really disclose.
Well, man, we can't wait to hear the new music, and I'll tell you, I'm the boss, so I can say it. You welcome back any time of the show, brother.
Oh, hell yeah, man! I had fun with y'all. Hopefully, we'll get to talk again before too long.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make it out to one of y'all shows, brother.
Yes, I would very, very love that you do that, and anybody else too, that's got the time to do it, and everybody's always welcome, and we always have fun. And then after the show, we'll be out there at the merch booth, just hanging out, waiting for whoever to come hang out with us. That's
awesome. And also, man, I'd love if y'all want to venture out, man. Y'all, Cowboys, a great venue. I know they always looking for people to come around, and got a lot of Texas scene come in. You come, rock the house. So if y'all ever want to get in with that, and you hit me up, and I'll make it happen.
Hey, brother, ain't nothing better than going and playing in Louisiana a little bit when you can.
Yeah, in a place like Cowboys, you can't. A name like Cowboys, they got a gigantic metal bull in the front of the door, so that's pretty much where everybody ends up in the night trying to ride it, but it's a statue. But no, everybody
knows that Cowboys is a hell of a venue. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, it's a great clean venue. Great staff, great management. Tip your bartenders too. Hell, they work for it. But that's all I got for this episode, guys. I'm gonna call this the up and comers of the Texas scene. This is our I'm gonna say third episode of it. We got 4 and 5 coming. We're gonna get the rest of the story from Kanan and them and give it to you guys. But we had a blast, man, and you guys be on the lookout for Taylor and the guys and the Lawless, and I'll be sure and post links to all their social medias and check them out.
Hey, brother, this was fun.
Yep.
Sure, so.
Yes, sir. Well, till next time, guys, my name's Jacob, and be sure to follow the Bayou Country Music Association.